The birth of Weimar Republic refers to the establishment of the democratic government in Germany after the end of the First World War. The Weimar Republic was founded in 1919 with the adoption of a new constitution, which aimed to establish a democratic and parliamentary system in Germany. The defeat of Imperial Germany and the abdication of the Emperor gave an opportunity to parliamentary parties to recast German polity peace treaty, Treaty of Versailles. After war was humiliating, resulting in economic loss. Germany lost its overseas colonies, a tenth of its population, 13% of its territories, 75% of its iron, and 26% of its coal to France, Poland, Denmark, and Lithuania. The Allied powers demilitarized Germany to weaken its power and occupied the resource-rich area of Rhineland. Germany was forced to pay compensation amounting to £6 billion. Many Germans held the new Weimar Republic responsible for not only the defeat in the war, but the disgrace at Versailles.
The effects of the war. Germany was forced to pay compensation amounting to $6 billion. From creditors, Europe turned into one of debtors. Those who supported the Weimar Republic, mainly socialists, Catholics, and Democrats, became easy targets of attack in the conservative nationalist circles. They were mockingly called the November Criminals. Soldiers came to be placed above civilians. Politicians and publicists laid great stress on the need for the men to be masculine, aggressive, and strong. Democracy being a fragile idea there, people lost confidence in government. There was an uprising of Spartacist League on the pattern of Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, who later founded Communist Party of Germany. In Berlin, the political atmosphere was charged with demand for Soviet-style governance. The Weimar Republic crushed the uprising with the help of a war veterans organization called Free Corps. Germany had fought the war largely on loans and had to pay back in gold. In 1923, Germany refused to pay, and the French occupied its leading industrial area, Ruhr, to claim their coal. Germany reacted with passive resistance and printed paper currency recklessly. With too much printed money in circulation, the value of the German mark fell. This crisis came to be known as hyperinflation, a situation when prices rise phenomenally high. The Americans intervened and bailed Germany out of the crisis by introducing the Dawes Plan, the years of depression. Germany recovery was dependent on short-term loans from USA. All of a sudden, a new problem emerged when Wall Street Exchange crashed in 1929. On one single day, 24 of October, 13 million shares were sold. This was the start of the Great Economic Depression. The German economy was the worst hit by the economic crisis. Workers lost their jobs or were paid reduced wages. Agricultural prices fell sharply, affecting peasants. The economic crisis created deep anxieties and fears in people. These sections of society were filled with the fear of proletarianization, an anxiety of being reduced to the ranks of the working class, or worse still, the unemployed. Business got ruined. People lost all their savings. Defects in Weimar Constitution, one-party rule could not be established, and coalition government was formed. Another defect was Article 48, which gave the president the powers to impose emergency by suspending civil rights. Weimar Republic saw 20 different cabinets lasting on an average 239 days, and a liberal use of Article 48. People lost confidence in the democratic parliamentary system. Hitler was born in 1889 in Austria. Hitler spent his youth in poverty. The German defeat horrified him, and the Versailles Treaty made him furious. In 1919, he joined a small group called the German Workers' Party. He took over the organization and renamed it the National Socialist German Workers' Party. This party came to be known as the Nazi Party. It was during the Great Depression that Nazism became a mass movement. From 2.6% of vote in 1928, Nazi got 37% of vote in 1932. Hitler was a powerful speaker. His passion and his words moved people. He promised to weed out all foreign influences and resist all foreign conspiracies against Germany. He understood the significance of rituals and spectacle in mass mobilization. Nazis held massive rallies and public meetings to demonstrate the support for Hitler. He was projected as a messiah who can save people. The destruction of democracy. On 30 January 1933, President Hindenburg offered the chancellorship, the highest position in the cabinet of ministers, to Hitler. A mysterious fire that broke out in the German parliament building in February facilitated his move. The fire decree of 28 February 1933 indefinitely suspended civic rights. He established concentration camps, a camp where people were isolated and detained and surrounded by electrified wires. On 3rd March 1933, Enabling Act was passed. This act established dictatorship in Germany. It gave Hitler all powers to sideline parliament and rule by decree. People could now be detained in Gestapo torture chambers, rounded up and sent to concentration camps. They deported at will or arrested without any legal procedures. Reconstruction. He reoccupied the Rhineland in 1936 by pulling Germany out of League of Nations in 1933. He integrated Austria and Germany in 1938 under the slogan, "One people, one empire, one leader." In September 1939, Germany invaded Poland. This started a war with France and England. In September 1940, a tripartite pact was signed between Germany, Italy, and Japan, which strengthened Hitler's vision of international leader. He attacked the Soviet Union in June 1941, which was a historic blunder by him. Eastern Front was exposed to Soviet Union and Western Front was exposed to British. As a result, Soviet Red Army defeated Germany at Stalingrad. The USA had resisted involvement in the war as it was unwilling to face economic problem that the First World War has caused. But it could not stay out of the war for long. Japan was expanding its power in the East. It had occupied French Indochina and was planning attacks on U.S. naval bases in the Pacific. When Japan extended its support to Hitler and bombed the U.S. base at Pearl Harbor, the U.S. entered the Second World War. The war ended in May 1945, with Hitler's defeat and the U.S. dropping of the atom bomb on Hiroshima in Japan.